Welcome to our call today, Master the Love Connection. I'm your host, Natalie Nelson, and this is a Discover Healing production. So let's talk about what you are going to learn today. So the 5 reasons your relationships are doomed to struggle or fail. Okay, now seriously, no matter what your status is in relationships right now, they could be better, okay? So you might end up struggling or failing, or maybe you have just sort of a pretty good relationship that could be better. We're going to talk about why that is and kind of what makes relationships tick. You're also going to learn why some people will stay single forever through no fault of their own, okay? And how to resolve the underlying problem. So you're going to figure out what's really going on. Okay, and you're going to learn also about the deep dive tool that will help you to get rid of all your relationship issues. Seriously, all your relationship issues. I'm not kidding. Okay, looks like my screen, you guys lost my screen for a second. Okay, there we go. Looks like it's back up. And I am sorry about that. I don't know what happened there, but here we go. Okay, so just so you know who's talking to you, I'm Natalie Nelson. I'm a master energy healer, and I'm our lead healing trainer at Discover Healing and Healers Library. And I've been mentored by Dr. Brad Nelson since about the year 2000 or so. And he's taught me a whole bunch of stuff, and I've become an expert in the methods that I'm going to show you today. And I'm just really happy to be here. And I'll tell you in a minute why I'm talking to you and not Dr. Brad. There's a very good reason for that. Now, there's one more thing. I only want you to stay here if you are willing to do a couple of things. Because listen, you can be here for the next hour and you could walk away from it just having learned nothing. Or you could walk away having learned a lot of really powerful stuff. And the first thing, besides just interacting, is being willing to take responsibility. Okay? Because, you know, in relationships, they're complicated and there's other people involved, and so it's really easy for us to kind of point the finger at others and, you know, oh, well, it was this circumstance or this person. If this person wouldn't have done this and treated me this way, you know, blah, blah, blah. Just kind of throw all of that out for a minute, because you need to be willing to look inward. That's what we're talking about today. And you also need to be willing to take some action too, because you can learn all about your baggage and all about what you've done to create your situation. And you can be willing to take responsibility. Well, sure, yeah, but if you're not willing to do anything about it, then things are never really going to change. And I would really not want you to spend the next hour with me and kind of just not do anything about it, okay? Because, you know, it's so frustrating having knowledge, but then no action with it, right? It just seems like a waste of time. So don't waste your time here today. If you're not ready, if you know that you're being held back for whatever reason, then, you know, maybe you can log off, and that's okay. Go ahead and hang up, and you can come back later anytime. We'll still be here. I'll still be here. But if you're ready to do that, if you're ready to take responsibility for your life and for your relationships and take some action to change things, then stay on, because it's going to be really good stuff today. All right, so before I tell you who I am and about me, you need to understand Dr. Brad's story. And I'll tell you just briefly, because a lot of you have heard this already. When he was 13, he was diagnosed with a painful and potentially fatal kidney disease. And there was no medical treatment. They sent him home and said, look, 50-50, you're going to live, you're going to die. We don't know. There's nothing we can do about it. And it was terrifying for him and his parents. I mean, he was in pain. His life was over. He's 13 and he can't do anything. And luckily, they didn't give up. His parents took him to see 2 holistic doctors that they found. And these doctors went to work on his body, and they were doing all this stuff, and, you know, Dr. Brad and his parents didn't really know what was going on. They didn't really know what these doctors were doing, but very quickly he started to feel better, and within about a month he was normal again. And they took him back to the clinic, because he's telling his parents, I feel great, I feel normal, and his parents are like, okay, slow down, buddy, let's make sure you're okay. So they went back to the medical clinic, and the medical doctors ran all the tests again, and they came back and they said, we don't know, but it's a spontaneous remission. Whatever we did must have worked. And he, you know, of course they knew they hadn't really done anything. Those natural holistic doctors are who had helped. And what they had done, at the time was kind of a mystery, but now we understand what they did. Now we understand that they simply made conditions right for Dr. Brad's body to heal itself. Okay, and so that kind of prompted him to embark on this lifelong journey in the healing arts. He devoted his life to learning about healing, and he became a chiropractor, and he discovered this amazing mind-body connection, and he was helping people to heal. And at the time, actually all throughout his chiropractic practice, he always had this sort of mindset. Well, there's got to be I bet there's a faster way. If something wasn't fast enough or didn't give permanent or good enough results, he thought there's got to be a better way. Because I think that he was able to just see the possibilities for healing, even when, his patients were, convinced otherwise, like, I'm never going to get better. But he knew that there was a better way. And so he's created this whole system called the Body Code, based on his trial and error and experience, and also the inspiration that he received through praying for help. Anytime he hit a brick wall with a patient, he would pray for help and get inspiration. And he's gathered information and technique over years and years and years. And so he was able to apply all these techniques to his patients, and now it's available today in the form of the Body Code, which a lot of you that are on our call today are already familiar with. A couple of you may not be, and that's okay. We'll talk more about that later. But you need to understand that we love simplicity. Dr. Brad loves simplicity. So do I. He trained me. I mean, that's the way my mind thinks too. And so that's where we're at. We know that healing can be and absolutely should be simple, no matter what kind of problem you're looking at. If it's physical, if it's mental, if it's emotional, whatever, it can be and should be simple. And today, I'm going to talk to you about how to achieve this more elusive outcome, which is love. Because listen, relationships are the same thing. They require the same type of healing work that our bodies require in order to get back in balance. So we can literally apply the same principles to, fixing kidney disease. We can apply those same principles to relationships and love and to your inner self to help you to get better, to help you to have more confidence and to get over any kind of blockages you've had to relationships. It all comes down to the same thing, the answers that can be found in the Body Code. Okay, so again, more on that later. I'm going to demonstrate for you how all of that works, and we're even going to take a volunteer, like I mentioned at the very beginning of our call. Okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about me. Okay, why am I here and not Dr. Brad? What's up with that? Well, the reason why is because I have always struggled in romantic relationships. And, Dr. Brad has been lucky enough. He met my mom and they've been married for 35 years and they're doing great. But I didn't have that kind of luck. And I'd always struggled ever since I was pretty young, ever since I started, dating, and I always had issues. I attracted the wrong people, and I had a lot of struggles, and lots of traumas came from relationships that I had, and so that wasn't good enough for me because, I'm seeing, my parents have this great marriage, they're happy, and why can't I have that? And why don't I have that? That doesn't make sense to me because don't we kind of tend to repeat, some patterns in our lives, right? And in a lot of times, in a lot of ways we do. Okay, but I didn't understand what was going on. And you'd think that I would have known better, because I've been involved in healing work for, for really my whole life, but I've been doing it actively for 15, 20 years, and it just didn't make a lot of sense to me though, because I thought it should be easier than it was, but I just didn't know the whole picture. I didn't know everything yet that I needed to figure out. So here I am, helping to redesign the Body Code 2.0, and I was totally immersed in it. I had my own clients, and I was helping my clients to figure out their problems, and they were doing great, but I wasn't doing great. In fact, I married the wrong person, and that marriage failed after 6 years. And I just was like, what? What is going on? Like, it should be easier than this. And in fact, Dr. Brad, who's actually my dad, you know, I mentioned a minute ago, he said to me one day when I was married and struggling, he said, it should be easier than this. And I thought, yeah, you know, you're right. You're right. And so I did work on myself with the body code and with the other trainings that I have, and it just wasn't quite enough yet. I hadn't figured it all out yet. And my divorce actually kind of prompted this personal transformation for me. And over the next 2 years, the pieces sort of fell into place. Now, when I say the pieces fell into place, that sounds like, oh yeah, everything just kind of worked out. No, no. That is not what happened. Not at all, in fact. It was very different. I had massive struggles when I started dating again after my divorce. In fact, I kept attracting a certain type of guy. And I got really sick of it because not only was this type of person I was attracting just not right for me, there were all kinds of, you know, like really glaring problems that would surface after you'd been dating for a while. You know, everything seems fine at first, and then after a while, you know, you find out, oh, you're not who I thought you were. Like, this isn't going to work. But it was just, you know, a lot of problems, not just a mismatch, okay, but just a lot of emotional unavailability, and, you know, and worse. I mean, that was probably the easiest thing. Okay, so I got really sick of it, obviously, because I was like, look, I've done all this work on myself. I mean, I think I'm a pretty easy person to be with, but, you know, there's got to be something wrong. There's got to be something else that I haven't figured out yet. And so I kind of got a little humble one day, and I started to ask my subconscious what's going on, because I realized that there's no way that it possibly could just be all these people that have these problems. I realized I have to be attracting this. There's just no other possibility. And what I found was actually really incredible. Fixing my own stuff was absolutely the key, but I really didn't realize how much of what drives our relationships is caused by what's within. And now I know, and now I'm here to tell all of you this. So we're going to go through some more fun stuff, and I'm going to share some information with you, and then we'll take a volunteer. But I want to share these powerful truths with you first. Okay, number one, your subconscious mind has massive control over your lives and over what happens in your relationship or relationships. Your subconscious is driving this. It's driving your relationships. So no matter how you act, no matter what your dating profile looks like, none of that really matters at the end of the day, because your subconscious mind is driving. Okay? You got to fix that first. That's the ground level. If you don't fix that, none of the other stuff is going to be what you want it to be, and it's not going to get you the results that you want. Okay? So number two, what you attract and how able you are to nurture your relationships as well. They're dependent on your vibrations. Vibrations of energy that are within your body. We can access the subconscious mind to find those vibrations, to find that information. Okay, more on that in a minute. Okay, number three, you can heal old relationships. And you can start new healthy ones if conditions are right. Now, look, today we're talking specifically about romance, but this applies to all relationships. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. This applies to all relationships. No matter what you're talking about, no matter if it's family, you want to make new friends, you want to make a new business relationship, whatever, you can do that if conditions are right. Okay? Now, conditions being right, yeah, sometimes that depends on another person. So for me, I was doing all this healing, and my ex-husband, he was kind of like, he just wasn't as, he wasn't as engaged, or he didn't really, I think that it just wasn't good timing. There was all kinds of things going on, but the conditions for healing our relationship were not right, and we had to get a divorce. However, if you can make conditions right in your marriage or relationship, you could probably save it. It just depends on, the willingness of both parties. It depends on a lot of different things, but you can figure out what is needed, again, by accessing the subconscious. You can do that, okay? So new healthy relationships will come once conditions are right. So not only have I figured that out for myself romantically, I just got engaged at Christmas. So there you go. This works. The man who I'm going to marry this fall is completely different than anybody I've ever dated before, and completely wonderful, and just so perfect for me in all these ways. You know, he's not perfect, I'm not perfect, but we're just right for each other. And we're helping each other to grow in all these beautiful ways. And it's just, you know, oh my gosh, I could go on and get all flowery about it, but it's just fantastic. So not only has that worked out for me, because I made that condition right, but I have the best, most awesome friends that I've ever had. Old friendships have become more healthy, and new friendships that I've been able to form are just so fulfilling. And I didn't have that before. I was really lonely a lot of the time. So that's what it's all about, making conditions right, okay? It's the same thing as what I was talking about with Dr. Brad's kidney disease. Those holistic doctors made conditions right for his body to heal itself. You can make conditions right for your relationships to heal too. Okay, so next thing, you can discover how to make your relationships heal and thrive just by simply asking the subconscious some yes and no questions. That's all it is, yes and no. I'll demonstrate that for you in a little bit. It's so easy. And you can do this too. The reason why I'm here today with you, showing you this stuff, is not because I want to show you how cool I am or like how great of a healer I am. I mean, whatever. I don't care about that at all. I want you to be empowered to be able to do this yourself. That is what I love. When I was practicing full-time doing healing work, my favorite was always when clients would come to me and say, hey, guess what? I'm learning this too. And I'd be like, yes, let's do this. It was so cool to see people take charge of their own lives. And, you know, sometimes it takes a lot of work. Sometimes it's really easy, but it's a simple process. And that's the point. It's a very simple process, and you can do it. You can totally do it because you have that ability built in. All you need to do is make simple changes, okay? You just need to discover how to do it. So we'll talk about that today, and I'm going to show you the tools that you're going to need in order to do this simple process, okay? So I have a couple questions for you. Who would agree with me? Raise your hand if you agree that the general approach to relationships is kind of missing something. So when I say the general approach, I'm talking about traditional talk therapy. I'm talking about self-help books. I'm talking about these relationship gurus that say, oh, you just got to do this and then everything's fine. Okay, so a handful of you, yeah. Okay, so how many of you are in relationship pain right now? Raise your hand. If you're in relationship pain of some kind, whether you are lonely, you keep finding the wrong people, or if you are on the brink of divorce, or you're just unhappy with your partner. Maybe you're in an abusive relationship. I'm not going to mention any names right now. Okay, a lot of you are in relationship pain. How many of you, I'm going to lower the hands. Raise your hand if you see other people around you, loved ones that are in relationship pain, and you just wish that they could get out of this. You just wish they could figure it out. Okay, a lot of you. So have you been unsatisfied with the solutions that are out there, or have you, yeah, raise your hand if you're unsatisfied with the solutions. You know, something is peddled as a solution and it doesn't really work. Yeah, well, that's how I was. You know, I was in traditional therapy. And by the way, I love traditional therapy. I have a great therapist. I still see her regularly because she helps me to see what my blind spots are. But it wasn't enough by itself because I wasn't tapping into the subconscious, okay? And that's the same thing. You know, you can read a book about relationships. You can know all the stuff about relationships. But if you're not tapping into your subconscious and figuring out what your specific issues are, it's just going to be a problem. And as a result of that, because we're not looking in the right place, there are almost no long-term solutions for relationship struggles. It's just not good enough. Okay, because again, we're not looking in the right place, the subconscious. Emotional problems get covered up because that's what we do. You know, as a society, generally speaking, we have been trained to kind of just suck it up, keep a stiff upper lip, deal with it. You know, we have labels for men, labels for women, like, oh, that's just how it is. Well, no, come on. That's not how it is. We blame poor communication for everything. When really, I mean, the poor communication is a result of other things, in my opinion and experience. And people are trying to get rid of the symptoms without removing the root cause within themselves. Okay, so for example, let's say that you fight a lot with your partner. Well, why do you fight a lot? I mean, that's not coming from nowhere. It's not just because you're, fighting people. It's because you've got stuff within you that's kind of fanning those flames. So, no matter where you're at, you're not alone. Let's talk about the divorce rate in America just real quick because it's a great example. 41% for the first marriage. Second marriage is 60%. Third marriage is 73%. Why do you think it goes up? I mean, wouldn't you think people would have learned their lesson? I mean, you would think. And in fact, yes, consciously we do. We learn lessons and we think, well, I'm never making that mistake again. And a lot of people will never get married again after they get divorced because divorce is horrific and painful. But I mean, why does the divorce rate go up? Does anybody have an idea why? Type in the question box and tell me if you have an idea why. Why do you think the divorce rate goes up for each marriage? Nobody? Nobody has any ideas? Okay. Well, I'll tell you. Okay, Vicky says it's easier to give up the second time. Okay, yeah. Sure. Renata, you got it. Bringing old issues in. So if you bring your old issues in, and consciously maybe you know that. Consciously maybe you can see, yeah, I've got all this baggage, but it goes so much deeper than what we can see also. Because really, after you get divorced the first time, you're probably going to attract the wrong person the second time if you've got a bunch of emotional baggage. That's, I think, the basis of the problem. But then you've got all this emotional trauma that you're bringing in, and you're just not going to be as functional. You're not going to be as much you. The true essence of you is not going to be you're not going to be quite who you should be. Okay. Yeah. So Nancy says, don't know how to change. Yeah, that could be it. And that's the thing. That's why all of you that are here are lucky because you're finding out what's really going on. Okay. Yeah. Okay. A couple of you guys had some other really good ideas. Well, 40% of people report being unhappy in their marriages. That's really high, isn't it? Isn't the whole point of getting married and being married to be happier and to be more fulfilled? Sadness. So sad. And you know what? I think this number is higher because I never admitted that I was unhappy in my marriage. Really, never. I mean, I never would have said that. I would have said, yeah, we have a lot of bad days, but it was a lot of bad days. You can ask my ex-husband and he'll say the same thing. It wasn't happy. We were not doing good, but we pretended that we were just because that's how it was supposed to be. That's how we are as people. We pretend. So why do you think that I lived like this for so long? And why are you still living like this? Why are you still living with relationship pain? Well, there's 4 possible reasons, really, when you boil it down. Number 1, accepting limitations. That's our first thing, okay? So that's thinking that fighting is normal. That's thinking that feeling isolated is normal. That's what I thought. I thought this is like how it is. This must be normal. I thought, well, my parents just have this wonderful, heavenly marriage compared to everyone else. Everyone else just must be really struggling. I had this really crazy misconception about relationships. And I also thought, well, I don't know what to do about it. I've done everything that I can. That's what I thought at the time, which I know now is a joke. There's so much more I could have done, but I just didn't know that I was equipped to do anything else about it. Okay. And also, you get worn down too, don't you? Aren't you just tired of all of that? That's how I was. I just felt, oh my gosh, do I have to keep working on this again and again? I'm just tired of it. I just want it to be easier. So that was accepting a limitation. And I had blinders on and I didn't see that it was actually a lot easier than I was making it. Okay, number 2 is a lack of information. That kind of stems off of that last one, doesn't it? That's something like not understanding what's really going on, not understanding your energetic nature, underestimating the power that your old traumas have over you, believing maybe that you're only just a physical being and that energy that's within you doesn't have a lot to do with your struggles. For example, there's so many things we can lack information on. Number 3, ignoring your emotional intelligence. So that's ignoring your body's guidance system. Emotions are there to give color to your life and direction to your life. They're not there to punish you. They're there to tell you like, hey, this might need to be adjusted. You might need to pay attention to this. their emotions are a sophisticated guidance system, but we often, again, we ignore them because they are uncomfortable and we don't want to face them and we'd rather they just go away. Number 4 is a secondary gain. So this is getting attention by having relationship issues. So like having a girlfriend who calls you about all of her struggles. She has a fight with her boyfriend again and she wants to talk about it. Well, she's getting connection with you, isn't she? She's getting the tender loving care from you that she needs from her boyfriend. So a secondary gain is what she gets from you rather than getting in the relationship. Okay, so you might have something like that too. Nobody wants to admit that that's where they're at, but it's a very real thing. So listen, the thing is you don't have to let any of these reasons dictate your reality anymore. It doesn't need to be like this. It's simply that you've gotten into a rut, and now that you know how to climb out, here you go. Here's a tool to get out of it. You're learning about it on this call. So this is kind of what those first couple pointers are about. It's about shifting from untruth into truth. Okay, because most of us are sort of straddling, this intersection. We have a lot of untruth that we still believe in, and then we can shift into truth when we find out what's really going on. Okay, and here's an example of this. People used to believe the world was flat. Okay, it was widely accepted, and there just wasn't any other information out there. Things kind of pointed to the world being flat. It just seemed like it made sense. But then when the real truth came about, it was like, oh, okay, so that's what's going on. And sometimes it's absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, I bet that all these people, when they found out how huge the world is and that it was round, I mean, I bet that was kind of mind-blowing. And for you, it may be the same kind of thing when you find out the truth about what's really going on in your relationships. Because, when you start digging around in there in your subconscious, you might find some things that are crazy. You might find some things that are like, really mind-blowing, and they might really make you sad that you've been living with it all this time. And some of it you may have had no conscious awareness of. It's very likely, in fact, that most of the stuff you've got going on that's hurting your relationships, you have had no conscious awareness of this whole time. So, anyway, this is about shifting from untruth into truth. Can you accept that maybe that's something that's happened to you or that could happen to you? Raise your hand if you think that there's a lot of truth out there that you just haven't experienced or you haven't been exposed to yet. Raise your hand. Okay. So a lot of you. So are you willing to be open to experiencing and being exposed to some new truth? Raise your hand. All right. Cool. Well, I'm super excited that you're all on board. Let's keep going. So here's some truths that you need to know right now. Okay, number 1, you are pure energy just like everything else. All relationship problems are caused by an imbalance in your energy, and it's easy to make changes in your energy to create ultimate conditions for love. You just have to know how. That's all it is. Okay, so we're going to go and talk about each one of these things in turn. Okay, so you are pure energy. You need to understand that if you're going to understand how this works. Everything is made of energy. Some takes the form of physical matter, okay, like your desk and your car and your house and your body, and some of it is invisible. Okay, so what's an invisible energy? Well, for example, the energy field. You are pure energy. You've got this invisible energy field that is within your body, within and even around your body. Okay, it's called the ki or the chi or the prana by different cultures. Some people call it the spirit, the energy body, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it the energy body because you've got also this physical body, okay? That's in the form of matter. Okay, your physical body is made of the same thing as your energy body. Okay, it's just kind of like a tighter atomic formation or something. We don't need to get too into the science right now, even though Einstein is on my next slide. But we know that energy affects us. Quantum physicists have shown this. They've shown that because we're made of energy, we are affected by other energies. And we can have an effect on other energies around us as well. Okay, we know that what we believe and think and feel is going to have an effect on our health. Okay, we know that it's going to affect our relationships. That's obvious. But how does this work? Let's talk a little bit more about it. First of all, there's a give and take of energy in all relationships, okay? But again, we're talking specifically about romantic, so let's kind of keep it in that context, okay? So there's a give and take of energy. You're continually giving energy to your relationship, and your partner's giving energy. You're taking energy from them. So it's give and take all the time. It's kind of a cycle. But when you hold on to negative energies, especially regarding your relationship, you're actually poisoning this energy exchange with your partner. And if they've got this going on, if they're holding on to negativity, they're poisoning the energy exchange with you. Okay, so what does this look like? It's pretty nasty. And when you think about it that way, doesn't it kind of scare you a little bit? When I realized like how intense this was, I was like, oh my gosh, like I never want to give negative energy to my partner ever. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's because of course it's going to cause them to be reactive and stuff. It's going to cause a lot of problems. So this is what the cycle looks like. So this is the cycle of poison in relationships. Okay, so this applies to partnerships. So we'll kind of get into if you're alone in a minute. Okay, so this is in partnerships. What happens first? First, you have trapped negativity, okay? So that's generally from any time in your life, could be current, could be from 40 years ago, could be inherited. You don't know until you dig into the subconscious. You don't know what's going on that is hurting your relationship. That's what the scary thing is. There's so much going on that you just have no idea about. It's like a minefield. Okay, so you've got this going on, and this is everybody. Everybody's got this. Okay, so don't feel like you're particularly, bad off or anything. Everyone has this. This is what it looks like. So first you've got all this trapped negative energy, and then it leaches into the communications with your partner. Now, any type of communications, okay, I'm talking conversations, talking face to face. I'm talking about if you're, in a different state and you're feeling, because you have a connection with your partner. How many of you have ever felt or just kind of known intuitively or felt kind of down or icky? How many of you have been affected by the energy of your partner, even if you hadn't talked to them, even if you didn't know they were having a bad day, you could just feel it? Maybe they're, in another room in the house and you're like, oh, something bad just happened. I don't know what it was, but maybe there's something wrong. I better go check. Okay, and you've probably felt that if you have a child too. A lot of mothers and children have really strong connections like this. That's another example of a communication that's going on all the time. Okay, so when you're in a romantic relationship, isn't safety really important? It's important that you feel safe with your partner and that your partner feels safe with you. That's huge, hugely important. But when we leach negativity into our energy exchange, it doesn't work that way. We can't have a really high level of safety, because it's like, oh my gosh, you're pouring poison into my drinking water. Like, why are you doing that? That doesn't make me feel safe. That's really how it is. And I think our subconscious minds constantly recognize, okay, this is poisonous. Like, this is not good for me. So, we gotta clean it up. So the next thing that happens is that it causes some level of reactivity. Your partner gets hurt by that. Maybe they become defensive, and then the cycle repeats. And again, they've got this coming from them too. So, flip this picture around. The guy, he's got the negativity that he's leaching into the communications, and it's going to make her defensive. So it goes both ways. Absolutely goes both ways. So let's talk about the cycle of poison when you're alone. Okay, so those of you singles, this is for you. It starts the exact same way. So trapped negativity colors your feelings and your thoughts, and then you give off that negative energy to others. Other people will come to conclusions about you and not realize why. Okay, sometimes it's completely subconscious. Sometimes they consciously realize, I don't know, she's really cute, but I don't think I want to talk to her. I don't know why, but I just don't. Okay, happens all the time. And then you're going to attract relationship pain over and over. Whether you are attracting the wrong person over and over, like I was, whether you're attracting nobody and nobody wants to date you, maybe you keep getting dumped over and over. I mean, who knows? It could be all different kinds. Maybe you've got a combination of all these things. But the point is that it starts the same way, and we have to get to the root of it if we're going to stop this cycle. And we're all the same. Nobody is exempt from this cycle. That's the crazy thing. It's everybody. So I have a question for you. Now that you know this, what are you going to do about it? If there are two people that are on a boat when it begins to sink, one person accepts this as fate and they drown, and the other refuses to give up and they look for alternatives. Okay, so we have a drowner and we have a swimmer. So which are you? Type in the question box right now. Tell me what you're going to do. Are you going to be a drowner or a swimmer? Got a lot of swimmers here. Nobody has said they're a drowner. I love that. Because why would you? Why would you leave the life raft right next to you and just say, oh, it's just too hard to swim over there? You know? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You know, once I realized all of this stuff, I was like, wow, like, you mean I didn't have to be miserable for all this time? You know, I've spent years and years and years just having so many relationship struggles. Well, maybe it's because I was supposed to be here to figure it all out so I could tell you, I don't know, whatever. But now it's your time to figure this out for yourself and to learn this for yourself. So let's talk about the 4-step relationship formula. Step 1, discover. Step 2, expose. Step 3, release. Step 4, heal. Let's talk about each one by one. Okay, so step 1 is to discover that your energy is to blame for your unhappiness. Your true vibrance can be revealed, and it's easy. And discover that your discomfort is communication. It's just showing you where you need to improve. We've already kind of done this. Let's move on. Okay, you've already discovered this. Step 2 is to expose. That's when we get into the nitty-gritty. We're gaining information about what's going on. Okay, we can only do that by asking the right questions and using the body code. Okay, and we also have another tool I'm going to show you in a minute. It's the Resonating Relationships program. Okay, this helps us to know all the right questions to ask, and then we go to the body code to get our answers about what's going on. It's so easy, and it's actually really fun. So we're getting answers from the subconscious. Remember, that's the main thing. That's really the key. Okay? And your subconscious holds the key. All the information about your relationship issues is located there in the subconscious. And the subconscious knows because it's 99% of your intelligence. It remembers everything you've been through. It's this database of information, so massive. Okay, it knows everything about you. Knows what you need to do to feel better physically, emotionally, mentally. It knows why you keep attracting the wrong type of person over and over. It knows why you keep getting dumped over and over. It knows why you come off wrong to people. It knows why you say the wrong thing when you're on a date. I mean, it knows why that's happening for you, so you can work on it. Lena has a question. Does this apply even when your heart wall is removed? Yes, this is beyond the heart wall, actually, because I'll tell you what. I had a heart wall. When I was in my marriage, I had a heart wall, and I would clear it over and over, and my body and my subconscious would rebuild it. And I couldn't figure out why. That was one of the things that helped me to realize there's something deeper going on. Because it wasn't always the situation that caused me to rebuild a heart wall. Sometimes it would be like, well, I don't know why I rebuilt it. You know, the last 2 weeks have been fine. We haven't gotten into a fight. Nothing bad has happened. You know, why would I rebuild that if I didn't go through trauma? It's because I had deeper subconscious issues that were causing me to think that I needed it or to prepare. It's kind of like you're building a bomb shelter before the bombs hit because you know they're going to come. That's kind of how it was. Or because you're expecting them to fall. And so that actually kept happening even after my divorce was over, and even though I had no reason to develop a new heart wall. So this goes beyond that, okay? So let's keep going. The subconscious knows, and we get answers by asking some yes and no questions and muscle testing. Muscle testing is our hotline to the subconscious, okay? We can use it to get yes and no answers, and it's just really cool. It's such a valuable tool. Okay, so step number 3 is to release. So once you expose the root cause, you have to do something with it, right? Because you don't want to just like find out, oh yeah, like we've had this problem because I have this issue with deserving love. I don't deserve love. I feel like subconsciously I don't deserve love. Well, what are you going to do about it at that point? You can't just leave it there. And that's kind of the problem with a lot of other approaches is they will uncover the root causes, but then they don't do anything with it. They leave it there. And that's generally not a great approach. I don't know how else to say it. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, you have to release it. You have to get rid of it once you find out what's really going on. Okay, so the way that we do this is we use a combination of energy, science, and physics. That sounds really complicated. It's actually not. I'll show you how easy it is in just a second. But energy is just simply your focused intention Okay, the science behind it is we use the acupuncture meridian system. Okay, ancient Chinese medicine has studied this, and it's a very, very real thing. It's about, it's all about mapping out kind of the energy flows in your body. So we use the governing meridian. I'm going to show you that in a second, but it helps the energy of your intention to flow through the body instantly. And the physics part of it is we actually magnify the intention to heal, to release the root cause. We magnify that intention with an actual magnet. Crazy, right? It's a refrigerator magnet, or you can use a stronger one, whatever you want to do. Okay. So let's see. What else do we need to talk about? Okay, we're going to talk about the releasing process. Okay, this takes only seconds. Okay, and yeah, a lot of you already know some of this. It is a little bit of review, but we do need to make sure that you understand all these different steps. Okay, so step 4 is to heal. And that's, again, just about exposing and releasing these true causes of what's going on. And that allows the healing change to take place kind of automatically, okay? Sometimes you're going to feel better right away. Sometimes it's going to take some time, all right? So here's where we get into why we have this new tool, okay? The Resonating Relationships program. We need to know the right questions to ask because relationships are very complicated, and because if you don't kind of target it in a targeted enough way, it's going to be hard for you to get to the root of it. That's what I went through for years. I wasn't asking targeted enough questions, and I wasn't seeing changes not fast enough. Okay, sometimes I would feel a little bit better, but I still had the same problems. So as I went through this transformational process, I put together all this knowledge that I had gained from working on my clients, along with all this knowledge that I had gained, in my training and stuff, with my own experience. And that has become Resonating Relationships, the Energy of Romance. Okay, it has all the questions you need to ask, and the body code has all the answers. Okay, they work together perfectly. So we're going to do a little demo right now. I'm going to pick a volunteer. So hang on for just a second for me. If you're still here and you volunteered at the beginning, raise your hand. Raise your hand so that I know you still want to be worked on. We took volunteers at the very beginning. Okay, I want to talk to Eric. Hang on a sec. I'm going to try to unmute you. Bear with me one sec. There we go. Hi, Eric.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Hey, good, Natalie. Wow, what a surprise. What a treat. Thank you.
Fun stuff. Cool. So I'm just gonna pull up our programs here. Hang on a second. Bear with me one sec. Okay. So Eric, I'm going to fill out our evaluation form with what you tell me. This is the first place to start. So can you give me kind of a nutshell about what's going on with you and what you're dealing with?
Healing past. I've had 2 divorces now. My second one was less than a year ago. Okay. And trying to figure out what's next. Maybe relationships aren't for me. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, the thing is my recent ex-wife. She's a sweet, sweet girl, and I've always made myself wrong because I should have been able to make this work. I should have been happy, but there was something that just wasn't working. And it's no matter how I tried, no matter what I did, it was like there was something about it. And of course, you go to either making her wrong or making yourself wrong, and it's like throwing the towel. And it's like, well, maybe this just wasn't the right thing. I guess I don't know.
Okay, so you kind of just don't really know like what the root of it was.
Correct.
Okay.
Why I wasn't happy? Why? Well, yeah.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, that's I think a pretty common issue that a lot of us have. It's because it's like, well, I'm not happy. I don't really know why, so therefore I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me how old you are?
46.
46. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's see what's going on. We're going to zoom down to, I want to say it's page 12. Yep, it is. Okay. We're going to zoom down here. This is a 10-section workbook. It's a guide that's going to kind of take you through the whole process of finding out all the things that are going on in your subconscious that you need to work on. But this is what I can show you today and work on today. And this is a really fast way to not only measure, but to work on improving your relationships or potential for new ones, you know, and heal your inner self and get ready for a new one, whatever it is that you want. It doesn't matter. These numbers need to be good no matter what. Yeah. So, okay, couple of things. I'm gonna let's do a quick little moment of silence so that we can get some help from our higher power. So we'll take 5 seconds and do that. Okay. All right. And I'm now going to tune in. I'm just going to create a proxy connection. I think for most of us that are on the call, I think most of you are aware of how this works already, so I'm not going to get too detailed with it. I'm just going to tune in. Okay, so if I say my name is Eric, boom, already good. We're good to go. My name is Natalie Kate. That's weak, so I'm testing for you. So what do we need to do right now? Do we need to work on connection mode with you? No. Do we need to work on nurture mode? We do. We need to work on nurture mode. Okay. Cool. Okay, so let's check to see. Now, nurture mode, for those of you that don't know, nurture mode is, it's basically about measuring the ability that you have to nurture and care for a relationship. Okay, you need to be 100% in nurture mode. Okay, these other numbers should be 0. Okay, but if your subconscious is saying we need to work on this, then this is not the case. Okay, so nurture mode it's about expressing your higher self and just being ultimately caring for your relationship. Stagnant mode is this kind of like gray area where not a whole lot's happening. You're kind of not really nurturing it, but you're not destroying it either. You're just doing kind of nothing. So sort of a dead kind of, it'll create boring, unfulfilling relationships. Conflict mode that's really bad. That's when you are in conflict with the growth of your relationship. So that's when, if you've got a high number in conflict mode, your relationship is not going to last. It's going to die. And your partner is going to feel sad and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So let's figure out where yours are. How much of you is now in nurture mode? More than 50%? No. More than 40? No. More than 30? Yeah. More than 35? 35, 34, 33, 33. About a third of you. Okay. Okay. How much of you is in stagnant mode? Let's try more than 30 there. More than 40? More than 35? 35, 34, 33, 32, 31. Okay. 31. Wow. That's really interesting. So 36%. It's almost like you're divided into thirds almost. Interesting. Okay. So now that we have this information, okay, we've been talking to your subconscious. Your subconscious is like, yes, this is what I need to work on. This is what's happening. So we can now ask the subconscious, why are your numbers here where they are? Okay, so we're going to pull up page, I think it's 10. Here we go. This is section 8. There's a section in the session guide here for each section in the evaluation. Okay, so we've got all this info that we're finding. Pretend we've done this whole thing. Okay, we don't have time. We only have time for a little bit, but so the goal here, we need to set a goal to kind of fix one of these. What do we need to fix? Do we need to fix nurture mode? No. Do we need to fix conflict mode? Yeah. So by fixing it, I mean we want to get it down to 0. Okay. So the goal is to lower conflict mode to 0%, okay? And we'll make a note that it was 36, okay? And now, where do we get the answers? Well, from your subconscious, but the body code helps us to find them. So let's pull up the body code. Here we go. I'm just going to zoom out a tiny bit so we can see more of our session guide. Okay, so what can we do to achieve this goal? Again, we're asking your subconscious mind what we can do. It already has a list ready to go, just like any other thing you approach, okay? So is it something on the left side? Yes. No. Is it on the right? No, it's on the left, yeah. Okay, so is it an energy? Is it a circuit or system? No, it's an energy. Is it something on the left side of this chart? Yes. Is it post-traumatic? No. Is it offensive? No. Is it mental? Yeah, it's mental. Okay. So we'll click that. Is it something on the left side of our chart here? Nope. On the right? Yep. Okay, is it a broadcast message? Is it a despair anchor? Is it an image? No on all those. Is it a memory field? Yeah, you've got a memory field coming up. Okay, so a memory field, it's just sort of a cloud of energy from past memories. We're not going to get too into that right now. But let's find an age when this occurred. How old are you now? I think you told me about it.
46.
46. Okay. So when did this occur? Prior to, we'll start with 20. Prior to 20? Actually, yes. Prior to 10? Yes. Prior to 5, no. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8, age 7. Okay, so, I mean, this probably didn't have to do with romance, but maybe it did. I don't know. Are we going to worry about it? No. Okay, do we need to know more? We don't. Let's go ahead and clear it. So I'm running the magnet that I have over the top of my head, over my governing meridian, to put this energy in there. To put the intention of to put the energy of my intention into your body, doing this on your behalf. Okay, did we clear that? Yeah. Okay, now is there something else? Actually, let's check to see where we got. Let's see. Okay, so now, is your conflict mode lower than 36%? You'd hope it is, and generally it'll go down if that's what you're trying to do. And yes, it is. Okay, so let's see. Is it lower than 36? Is it lower than 30? Yeah. Is it lower than 20? No. Is it lower than 25? 25, 26, 27, 26. Okay, we knocked 10% off of it. Cool. Okay. So, is there something else we can do? Let's keep going. I mean, maybe that's all we can do right now, or maybe we can keep going. So, can we lower your conflict mode even more? Yes, we can. Okay, left side, no. Right side, yeah. Something on the right this time. Is it a pathogen, misalignment, nutrition and lifestyle issue? Yeah, that's what it is. Let's click on that. Okay, so is it something on the left side of our chart here? Yes. On the right side? No, it's on the left. Is it color deficiency? No. Is it sleep? No. Is it an outside need? No. Is it a magnetic field imbalance? Yeah, your magnetic field is imbalanced. Okay. So let's check if there's an underlying cause. Okay, let's go back out. Is there an underlying cause for your magnetic field imbalance? Yeah, there is. Okay, I'm just going to write this down real quick. Magnetic field imbalance caused by, this is how I like to take my notes. Number 3, and then we'll put number 3 right there. Okay, so what's causing your magnetic field imbalance? Is it something on our chart? On the left. Yeah, on the right. Nope, it's on the left. Is it an energy? It is. Okay, not too surprising. Is it on the left side? Nope. On the right? Yes. Is it addictive heart energy? Is it an allergy or intolerance? No. Is it emotional? Yep. Very common for this. Is it a trapped emotion? Yes. Okay. So, is it in column A? Nope. In B, in an odd row, in an even row, in 2. Okay, B2 is where we're at. See how fast this is? I'm just kind of rushing through it. So, B2, is it failure, helpless, hopeless, lack of control? Lack of control. Okay, so we're going to write that down. Lack of control. Is that something that you feel a lot?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, yeah, yes. Okay. Okay, so when did that occur? Prior to 20? Nope. 20 to 30? 30 to 40, yep. 30 to 35, yep. 30, 31, 32. Age 31. Okay. Do we need to know more? Not really. Does anything come to mind?
First divorce.
Oh, first divorce. Okay. There we go. Let's clear that. And, you know, the way that I look at this is, you know, this kind of, in my, you know, guesstimation, that probably kind of led to your second divorce. You know, because you hadn't been able to, you know, let go of that yet and whatever. But sometimes the first divorce is okay. You know, I'm glad I got divorced.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, totally.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just about cleaning up afterward. That's the thing. So you can do that now. So let's see where we're at. Where do we get your conflict mode to now? Okay. So actually this little field can give us a place to put it. So it was 26 just a minute ago. Where is it now? Lower than 26? Yeah. Lower than 20? Yeah. Lower than 10? Nope. Okay, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 14. Okay, oops, 14% in conflict mode. Much better. Okay, so now we're going to go all the way down. We're going to fill out these numbers here. So we know it's 14. So let's look at your original numbers. Okay, so from 36 to 14, not too bad. If we had more time, we would keep going with it. So nurture mode, where is that now? Is that higher than 33? Is it higher than 40? Is it higher than 50? Is it higher than 60? Okay, it's not higher than 60, but it's higher than 50. So 50 to 55, 55, 56, 57, 56. Cool. Okay, awesome. So let me get out my calculator really fast. I promise I can do simple math, just not when I have a live audience. It's like nerve-wracking. Okay, 30. So stagnant mode stayed just about the same. It went down to 30. It was 31. So overall, a good improvement. I would just keep going with this. And there's a lot of other stuff that could go wrong, or that could be going wrong that you're going to need to figure out. And, you know, this is the way to do it because it's going to help you to get down to all the stuff in there.
Awesome.
Okay. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Natalie.
You're
Thank you so much.
welcome. You bet. Okay, I'm going to mute you, but our staff is going to send you the results, Eric, so let us know how you do. So I hope that was interesting for you. So let's see. Yeah. Okay, so you already have the power to do this work within you, and the package that you need, the tools that you need, are just the body code with resonating relationships. Most of you on the call already have the body code, so resonating relationships is kind of just like adding a supplemental tool to your body code toolkit, I guess, for lack of a better word, okay? So it's really, really fun. Now, this can help you in a lot of different ways. You might be able to generate more wealth and abundance as a result of using this. You might feel physically better, you know, your life may end up being longer. I mean, who knows? Who knows? So let's talk about what's in it. If you want to purchase it today, you can. It's available. There's a 10-section workbook, okay, that you can purchase to go along with your body code. And I showed you just section 8, and you saw section 1. That's it. There's a lot of stuff in there, hugely. It's really, really in depth, okay, so you can find out what's going on in your subconscious. And then when you do the work with the body code, you can store it in the session guide, and that'll help you to jump around. So the reason, or the way that I designed this, is to help you to get the fastest results by jumping around in the session guide as much as possible. And you'll learn how that works when you watch the training videos, which are the other part of this program. So training videos, tutorials, and then we're going to be posting some sample sessions pretty soon here. Okay, so that's available today as an add-on to your body code. I'm going to tell you how to get it. If you don't have the body code yet, you can go to Body Code Romance. That's how you can purchase it. But I'm going to show you how to purchase Resonating Relationships on its own first. So hang on, body code owners, if you want this, hang on, I'm going to show you how to get it. Okay, so you need first to be logged into Healer's Library. Okay, so see how at the top it says Welcome Natalie. So I'm logged in, I can go to my dashboard. So I'm logged into healerslibrary.com. That's all you have to do in order to get to the page. The reason we do that is because you have to be able to, our system has to be able to know that you are a body code owner. That's all. I mean, it's just because Resonating Relationships is only available if you have the body code or if you purchase the body code at the same time. The reason for that is because Resonating Relationships without the body code, I mean, you're not going to get very far. If you only are releasing trapped emotions, you're going to feel like you're hitting your head against the wall. You absolutely need the body code because so much of what goes wrong in our relationships is it's just all other kinds of body code stuff, okay, not just trapped emotions. So all you need to do is log into Healer's Library and click here on this little banner here, okay, and then you can actually watch a replay of the same webinar that we did before, and then you can scroll down, you can see all of the stuff that's going on. If you click I'm ready to order, that'll take you, just right down to the order page. So the price on it is $398. And again, you get the evaluation guide, the session guide, and you also get the training videos and the sample session videos, okay? The link is in the chat box. So if you're ready to do this, the link is in the chat box. Remember, you have to log in. If you have any trouble or any questions about ordering, our staff is here, so just type in a question. Couple of questions that are coming in. This is not part of the body code course, but it is a supplemental tool that you can use along with it. It just helps you to focus your body code work on relationships in a really, really targeted way. And it helps you to find out all of the things that can potentially cause problems in relationships so that you can ask about it in the body code. So this is kind of why I was telling you, like, I had the body code. I knew a lot about relationships. I knew a lot about healing, but it wasn't enough. I was missing a lot of different pieces, and so that's what this program has, okay? It's just really a way to make your body code work super powerful. I hope that helps answer that question, okay? All right, so let's see. So the payment is $398, or you can do 2 payments of $213.50. So there's a little financing fee on top of the total. So that's like, what, $29 or something. If you want to break it up into 2 payments, you can totally do that, or you can do one, up to you. Okay, we don't ship you anything. It's instant access. You can get going on it right away. You can pay with PayPal too. Okay, so hopefully that has been interesting for you. Now listen, for those of you that do not have the body code Romance is the link you want to visit to learn more and also to purchase. So that link is in the chat box too, Body Code Romance. So you can see everything that you get along with it, and then you can see the payment plans. So the price for you, if you don't own the body code and you want to purchase it with Resonating Relationships, the single payment is $13.95. You can break it up in as many as 7 payments. And let me tell you what you get really quick. So you get all the components of the body code. You get a bunch of bonuses, how to get rid of lower back pain, the heart wall, how to get started, and then some info about the food industry, and then you get the Boost Your Body Code Results package, so you'll learn a lot about how to get started in using the body code. You'll learn a lot from our healers. There's 4 different calls, 2 Q&As, and then 2 demo sessions, and then you're also going to get a body code health evaluation in addition to Resonating Relationships too. So there's a ton of stuff in this package. This webinar was specifically for body code owners. So if you're interested in learning more about all the components of the body code and what comes along with this package, you can come to another one of our webinars. There's 90 minutes to discover the secrets to true and lasting love. And that's coming up. You can find that on our Healers Library calendar. Okay. So, depending on what your status is, you'll see in the chat box, okay, if you own the body code already, then you're going to go to Healers Library, and then you'll end up on this page. The charge for you is $3.98 to get Resonating Relationships. If you want to order the body code with Resonating Relationships, you can do that by going to Body Code Romance. So just check the chat box and you'll see what it is, okay? So I'm going to answer a couple of questions before we go. In the meantime, if you are wanting to order, or if you're having trouble, or if you have a question, our staff is on our webinar, so type them a question in the question box and let them know what you need. Anybody have a question? Go ahead and type in your questions to the question box. You guys are just a good group though. I feel like you've just gotten it. Everything's just kind of just, you've gotten it real quick. It's all clicked for you. Okay, looks like nobody has questions about the program itself, but keep in mind that the Resonating Relationships program, if you're wanting to learn how to use it, there are training videos, tutorials that come along with it. Pretty soon we're going to be posting some sample sessions, but they're in the tutorial videos. There's one that shows you how to use it on yourself and how to do it. Okay, so that's going to show you everything that you need to know about it, and I feel pretty confident that the training videos and tutorials they go into depth so that you won't need any additional training. So that's that. Okay, so I hope that today was fun for you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed. Oh, Eric is asking, how would you suggest I keep healing? Okay, he already has Resonating Relationships. So Eric, the approach that I would take is I would keep going from where we were today. If you haven't done the full evaluation on yourself, that's what you're going to want to do. So let me pull that back up real quick. So the evaluation, I mean, it's 16 pages long, okay, and you're going to be filling in every page with either your history or your goals, or you're going to be getting info directly from the subconscious right here, like in this section. There's several other sections where you're asking the subconscious, is this a problem for you? Is this a problem for you? Is this a problem? Is this a problem? If you find out, if you have a huge list like this, it gives the subconscious a really direct, powerful way to say, oh, okay, so now that we have this really detailed snapshot of everything that's going on in the relationship problems that you have, let's address it this way. So it's really like bringing it all up to consciousness. You're kind of identifying the problem really, really clearly. And when that happens, the subconscious, remember, it's a computer. The subconscious can just say, oh, okay, cool, let's do this. This is what we need to do. And the session guide, remember I said that it's been designed for you to jump around? I'm not kidding. You are going to be able to jump around. This is the beginning, but there's, you're going to do section 1. Do I need to work in section 1 or section 2 or section 3 or section 4? You're going to go from section to section depending on what's needed. So sometimes you'll need to release one thing from section 1, And then you'll ask again, do I need to stay here? Do I need to go to section, 1 through 5 or 5 through 10? And you're going to jump around as needed. I think that by doing it this way, we open all the doors to the subconscious instead of just kind of focusing on one thing at a time. That's kind of how we do it normally with body code work. We're focusing on one thing at a time, but there's no beating around the bush anymore with this program. Resonating Relationships kind of helps you to be really, really targeted in the work that you're doing rather than kind of looking in one place at a time, okay? It's like, imagine if you had 10 different doors and you know that there's problems probably behind all those doors, but you can only go through one at once, but what if you had all of them open at once and you could see exactly where you needed to go each time? It just makes it so much faster and more targeted. That's all I can say about it right now without going into more depth. Okay, so let's see. So Tara wants to know if it would be good to work on this on yourself. Okay, if you're having problems in your relationship, would it be good to do it on yourself and your partner? Okay, or would it be better to work with someone else? I always like to start by working on myself. I'm kind of a DIY type of person, and I encourage you to kind of take charge and do that as well. If your partner is willing, and this goes for everybody in any relationship too, if your partner is willing or if the other person is willing to be worked on, then go for it, okay? If you hit a wall or if the other person is like, it's too weird, if, I want someone else to work on me, then that's totally a possibility. You can go on Facebook and find another practitioner to help you, to kind of trade sessions even if you want. Pretty soon our staff practitioners are going to be set up to take relationship sessions. Otherwise I would have directed you there first. But yeah, I would start by working on yourself. I would start by working on your husband or your partner, whoever it is that you're talking about, for any of you. That's what I would start with. The first place to begin is to do an evaluation on yourself and to start doing sessions on yourself. That's the first place to start. Okay, and once you figured that out, once you've watched the training videos, then you can work on another person. But I would do it on yourself first. Absolutely. Okay. Okay, so I hope that that has helped you guys. You've been a great audience today. Thank you for being here, and I hope that you decide to be a swimmer and to take your relationships into your own hands and to get it going. Because man, if I would have known all this, if I would have known years ago what I know now and what's in this program, I wouldn't have wasted a minute. I'm not kidding. I mean, just the heartache that I could have saved myself. But it's all good now, and you can have the same thing, okay? So thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and hopefully we get to talk again soon. Bye.